Hello and welcome to my hobby bench. So on the table I've got most of the pieces. I've got many of the other pieces here of this Saito FA-72a engine that I picked up at the West Bend swap meet. I think it was last Sunday or so, maybe the Sunday before, I don't know. It was the 27th of January, 25th January, something like that. Anyway, so I picked this up very inexpensively, $25, because the glow plug thread was stripped out. Now I'm going to put up some pictures here of what I was able to take pictures of prior to me messing with this to show you how bad those threads were. So between then and now, I've taken it apart to this degree anyway, and I have a 1/4 by 32 tap that I bought years ago, and I also have the same die that I used to use to run through all of my glow plugs before I'd install them into engines. So I did run that through there, and I was able to actually cut some better threads down near the bottom, but it just turned out that the stuff that was the threads at the top were the ones that were really gone. I mean, they were gone. So I don't know the history of this engine, but to me it looks like what happened was somebody just got in there and they cross-threaded it one time and thought they were going in right and just kept going and going and going and really torqued it, and it just destroyed the threads in this. So there's several options here. It's a very low time engine. I mean, it's in fantastic shape. I mean, look at this exhaust. It doesn't have hardly any carbon on it at all. So I mean, I paid $25 for this engine, but I've probably got at least, if I were to go and sell these parts individually, hell, this exhaust alone is probably worth $40. Rocker covers could easily sell for $25. So I mean, the bottom line is, here's a carb that I could probably sell for $30. So I mean, the bottom line is I could make some money on this engine just by selling parts, if that was what I chose to do. But I don't know that I really want to go that route just yet. I mean, I may not have much choice but to do that. But since this head looks like it's pretty much gone, just because of the fact that those threads are stripped out, unless somebody watching this can actually throw some aluminum in there, drop some hot aluminum in there and seal that up and tap it and rethread it, what I'm thinking of doing, just because I don't have nothing to lose, is I was thinking about mixing up a little bit of JB Weld, and just for the hell of it, I mean, this has already been through the ultrasonic cleaner, so it's all very clean here. Just paint, using a toothpick, just paint around the whole periphery of that, the threads there, and then just let it cure for 5-6 days or so. Let it get real hard, and then just run my tap through it again. I mean, I got nothing to lose. And, maybe it would seal it well enough for me to get a couple of runs on this engine. Maybe it wouldn't. And if it doesn't, then I've got all kinds of parts. I would just completely disassemble this engine, or maybe just sell parts of it like this. I mean, obviously, the further down I take it and sell parts individually, the more I could get for it. But those are the plans. I mean, heck, the crankshaft itself is probably worth $30. So, I mean, I've got money that could be made here if somebody's looking for some spare parts for a Saito 72 engine. But I think what I'm going to do is probably just give it a shot. I mean, I got nothing to lose. Throw a little bit of JB Weld in there. Supposedly, JB Weld advertises themselves as it being able to be drilled and tapped. Now, I wouldn't need to drill because I'm not going to be putting that much in there. I'd just be filling that area where the threads used to be, and maybe even throwing it in the oven to cure for a while. Or just let it sit for days and then give it a shot with the tap again. But I mean, so that's the plan. Otherwise, I mean, this engine is in really good shape. The valves are beautiful, and I mean, it's just a low time engine, and it's a shame that something like this could happen to one of these engines, but that is what it is, and that's what we're going to give a shot to here. So anybody that's interested in potentially having some spare parts for Saito 72, let me know, because there's a very good chance that there's going to be parts hitting the market. Okay, so here I am with my JB Weld, a little bit of wax paper. My head And unfortunately, I don't really have, believe it or not, I don't have toothpicks in my apartment or in my kitchen. What I have is a bamboo skewer, so we're going to have to see if that's pointy enough. That should work. So I don't recall, you know, when I buy JB Weld, I always buy the stuff that says it's for engine cases and stuff like that. And I know they make a variety of different ones. But this one says it's epoxy steel hardener. It says steel and then hardener here. Do they make a different one for just aluminum? I don't know, but this is what I've got to try. So this is what I've always bought. And like I said, I know JB Weld sells several different products. So I'm just going to put just a little blob down there like that, because this isn't going to take much. That's way more than I need as it is. But they don't seem to have good dispensers with these things, so I'm just going to eyeball my amounts there. And there's my JB Weld concoction. And I think I'm going to use this end to just mix this stuff up. So I have no idea. This could take several days to cure to a point where it's good enough to use, or good enough to try to re-tap. So I'm just going to sit here and mix this up really good until it's nice and gray like it's supposed to look. Now what I'll do also is I'll keep a small portion of this, maybe this whole little piece of paper here, and use that as my guide to determine when it's cured. So now if I can do this, I don't want a drippy thing like that. I just want enough on this tip so I can start painting the inside of this glow plug thread. I mean, this is just an experiment. Who knows if this is going to work. If it doesn't work, then, as I've already said, I've got a lot of good parts here I can use to either service other people's engines or sell and recoup some money from this endeavor. Let me get... So I'm shining my flashlight in there so I can see. So I can see how much material I've got in there. Really kind of trying to press it at the same time, and yet maintain enough thickness there near the top, because that's really where it's necessary, is the top. The bottom, it seemed like the threads were okay. I don't know if you're going to be able to see in there or not. Now, do I have any confidence that this is a long-term fix for this? No. If anything, it's a very short-term fix. Maybe just enough to... I'm sticking my finger in here, and if I got any JB Weld extending beyond that thread, I wanted to make sure I get it out of the head there. So no, as I'm saying, I don't know that this is a long-term fix at all or not. I have used JB Weld to repair certain things on aluminum engines before. Never a threaded hole. Now I feel like I'm just kind of pulling out what I had put in there. I don't want to do that. Let's see if I can inspect this again. I don't want to keep screwing with this too much. Come on, flashlight. All right, I think I've got enough stuff, enough JB Weld in there that it should at least allow me to test this experiment. I don't know if I want to go messing with this too much more here. I don't know, here I am sitting there saying it and I'm messing with it more. So I keep touching with my finger to pull out any JB Weld around the seat area here. I want to make sure I don't get any JB Weld on the leave any on that glow plug washer seat, because that'll be part of the sealing surface. Okay, so I'm satisfied with what I've got here now. It's just a matter of waiting for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days and see. Let me just kind of wipe this stuff off here. I'm going to kind of make a little bridge here of this stuff and just set this aside, and I'll use this, kind of fan it out a little bit. Use that as my gauge for determining when that is fully cured. So maybe several days from now. So that's our experiment. We're going to give that a shot and see what happens. And if I can at least get it to seal enough so that I can get compression and maybe get a couple of runs on it this summer, hey, that's a win. Otherwise, we'll just see what happens. And like I said, we may just have parts for sale.